Okay, Lauren, are you ready?
If you will give me just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, you're good to go.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll go ahead and call this Budget and Finance meeting to order on January 12th, 2021. The first order of business should be to accept a motion to use Zoom as our meeting format, and I would entertain that motion right now.
I make that motion. We accept Zoom as a form of meeting.
Motion by
Second.
Commissioner England and second by Commissioner Taylor. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Is there any opposed? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, second item would be to approve the minutes. You all should have had a copy sent out by email from Commissioner Savage. I think that was on December 20th. Are there any additions or corrections to said minutes?
Motion to approve.
I'm sorry, motion by Commissioner Savage. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Taylor. Now, are there any additions or corrections? Okay, if not, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, item 1 for tonight is GPFY 1920-3. And this is an amendment to general purpose school fund. And basically my understanding of this is that State Department of Finance has asked that we break these funds down so they're easier to translate for them, so they're more specific in nature. And Justin, would you like to speak to that?
Sure thing. Yeah, that is the gist of the situation. So they're moving 168,000 out of other equipment and dispersing it amongst the appropriate line items. 36,000 to other contracted services, 12,000 to cabling, and 120,000 to software.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Mine says 12,000 to software and 120,000 to other equipment.
Oh, well, it's 168,000 should be other equipment.
My paper, Commissioner Savage says 120,000 to software and 12,000 to cabling and 36,000 to other contracted services, which is a total of 168.
My mistake. Old eyes.
I understand. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion. We approve this.
A motion by Commissioner England. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Roth. Is there any discussion before we vote on this? And basically, there's no money changing hands here. It's just being redesignated into different line items. So if there is no further discussion, then all in favor say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? All right, thank you. Motion carried. Okay, the next amendment would be school general purpose amendment number 4, and that is GFFY 1920-4. And basically what this is, there was $142,000 in it was a safe school grant that carried over from last year, but it was not originally budgeted. Justin, if you would speak to that for just a second.
Yes, that is correct. The money was left at the end of the fiscal year I'm not sure why it wasn't budgeted, but they have, money is still available. The grant is still open and they have found a use for that money. So they would like to budget both the revenue and for reimbursement and the expense so that they can make some purchases.
Okay, thank you, Justin. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Ross. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Savage. Is there any discussion concerning this amendment?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Taylor.
this may be for Mr. Cotton. Mr. Cotton, do you have any idea what they're wanting to purchase and or going to purchase with this money?
I apologize, but they have told me, but it has been, it's been a little while. But no, I do not know what, I do not know offhand what they're planning to purchase with it. I know that it will be regulated by the strictures of the grant. So it will have to fall within whatever the grant says they can buy, and they will have to abide by county purchasing policy. So this will just be 100% reimbursement for whatever it is they are planning to buy.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Savage.
for future references, I know that I don't want to get nitpicky about this, but this is a lot of money. And for future references, I wish that they would be more specific of what they're going to spend this on, because, we got to answer to our constituents and they see this in the paper and things. And if they would be more specific, it would really help. And I know that they will have to come under the guidelines and of the grant and also the financial management too. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Savage, and I'll mention that to Mr. Swallows. And I think number one is this was carryover money, and I think they probably just overlooked that funding in the budget, that it had to be carried over to this year. And that's probably why they weren't so specific, because they were just trying to transfer it into this year's budget. But I'll make a note of that, and I'll mention that to him this afternoon if possible. Okay, is there any more discussion? Okay, if not, yes, go ahead, Commissioner Ross.
Just for clarity, this is 100% reimbursed, correct?
This money actually was already in last year's budget, but
Okay.
yes, it is grant money. The only thing, what they didn't do is didn't roll it over to this year's budget. And this is just placing it in this year's budget, and then they can spend it at their discretion.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you so much.
Any more discussion? Okay, if not, then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, if not, then motion passes. The next amendment is for the jail, and this is item 3. It's GFFY 2021-15. And basically what this is, I talked to Major Walker about this a week or so ago, and basically the COs have been receiving their uniforms. The financing for their uniforms has been coming from the sheriff's department, and what they would like to do is move this money from law enforcement equipment into a new line item 451 for uniforms. And I think Major Walker is with us tonight. If he would like to speak to that, Major Walker, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Yeah, for years we've had about the same budget in our uniforms, which has been $15,000, and that's covered both sides, the sheriff's department side along with the jail side. Our uniforms for corrections officers, nurses, investigators, SROs, and deputies. And over the years, where it stayed the same and we've got more employees, now it averages up to about $125 a year per employee on uniforms. And the cost of starting someone out is actually more than that. To completely equip a deputy with their uniforms now cost about $300. So what we would like to do is in the law enforcement equipment, which we start out with $43,500 in that, is move that to 10,000. That way the jail has their own budget on uniforms and can purchase the corrections officer and nurses uniforms out of that budget.
Okay, thank you, Major Walker. And with that, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I make a
Motion.
motion, we approve it.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner England. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Savage. Any discussion concerning this amendment? Okay, if not, then all in favor say aye. Aye. Is there any opposed? Okay, if not, motion passes. Okay, well, that's all that I have tonight. Justin, you don't have anything else, do you?
I do not.
Okay. Does any other member of this board have anything that needs to be brought before this meeting tonight?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner England.
just as something to be thinking about, I want to, since we're got a little extra time here, our program at the jail, our NC3 training is going better than we thought. Major Walker can attest to that. We've had 100% participation and 100% passing. We've not had one inmate that has not passed. And I just want you guys to know that we're running on a grant right now as far as paying the instructor. And I want you to know how well that this is going. I went and spent Monday, yesterday, I spent the biggest part of the day with the instructor myself and with the inmates, and they were so appreciative of it. And reason why I want to bring it up in budget finance is last year when we got ready to do budgets, I asked for money to pay for an instructor, and then we were fortunate enough to get a grant. I want you guys to always keep in the back of your head that this grant will run out in June, and the $10,000 that we put back for the instructor, I'm hoping we won't have to use it, but we'll have some better numbers to know what it's going to take to keep this program going through the next year. And I want you guys to be thinking about that and how well it is working, and then hope that we can find the money to continue this program when that time does arise. I just want that to be in everybody's, mind, and just be thinking about that and stewing over that. And if you got any questions or would like to come out there and see what we're doing, anything, I'd be happy to help them out with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner England. Has anybody else got anything before we adjourn?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Savage.
last night, Policy and Personnel met and we discussed the COVID-19 policy. And it's got, we had to go ahead and get another policy in effect for our employees. And it's a little different, but everybody got an email today of everything that we got last night. And so you can read it over before next week's monthly meeting. We'll be voting on it then. And we've got to get a policy in place. Our other one's expiring.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Savage. Okay. Does anybody else have anything?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Taylor.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn, sir.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner England. All right. All in favor say aye.
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 All right. Thank you, folks. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Good night,